Okay. Hello everyone. Okay. See someone has already joined. So you can just let me know where you're joining from, what your name is, and just drop in the comment section. So we can start. Uh if anyone wants to, I really want this to be a very interactive session anyway. So if you want to come on stage, you want to talk, you want to let us know how the challenge has been for you so far, please let me know and we can um drop a link in the chat so you can also join. So yeah, this is just to walk us through the first module of the PowerUp challenge, right? So let me just share my screen and we can start. Okay, all right. Yep, my screen is up now. So challenge is named PowerUp 2024, Unleashing Hidden Potentials of Microsoft, right? And as you can see in the description, the challenge just promises to unlock your productivity superpowers, to level up your skills, unleash innovation. So the whole idea of challenge, you join challenge and you get access to a community of learners, right? That I'm not just providing the link for the appropriate topics for beginners to learn from our platform. I've also there's a WhatsApp group in which all of us already are, right? And we've been interacting on there. And any questions that you have, any challenges that you're facing as you've been going through the challenge, you can always ask on the platform. If you haven't joined the WhatsApp group, right, you can check in the description of perhaps the last video that we did kick off call for this. So yeah, you can let me know in the chat how challenge has been so far, any challenges you've faced, how many movies you've completed. Yeah. Um. So yeah, we still have over 20, like around 20 days left before the challenge ends, and wow, I have over 57 participants right now. Because like I just wanted to reiterate, you can see it says that it updates within a few hours, right? So like if you perhaps join the challenge and you don't see yourself there, you don't see yourself on the leaderboard, just relax. In a few hours, it would update and you would see yourself. I said that on the last call, but I'm saying it again because it's something that happens sometimes, and people can be a little bit worried about my not showing up on the leaderboard. But yeah, so don't worry about that. Um, okay. So to begin, let's start going through. Let's go start going through. Okay, so the first module is describing the business value of the Microsoft Power Platform, right? So this module is all about you being able to understand why. It's very important in everything that we do to understand why. Why are we learning Power Platform? What is the purpose of the Power Platform, right? So if we go through this module, we should be able to explain that to someone. Yeah. So like you're not just learning anything for just the purpose, just for the sake fun of learning, right? I mean learning can be fun, but also you're learning it for a reason. So why the Power Platform? How is it useful? How can it add value to your business, right? So perhaps you want to pitch to your boss that okay, boss, we should be using Power Platform, and he's asking why. He's going to ask you why. How is it going to assist business? How is it going to help us, do things better? And that's really what this module is all about. So we would just give you a brief overview of the Power Platform, look at some solutions that have been built with the Power Platform, um, give you a brief overview generally of how the platform is, the various applications, the various tools in the Power Platform. There are 5 tools, so look at the various tools, look how we can interact with other things, look at solutions that people have built using the Power Platform, and the Power Platform is a Microsoft product, so at the same time, you can always still interact with other, let's say, family of tools, right? So yeah. Oh, hi Rebecca. Yeah, nice to have you here. Um, so yeah, you can let us know how the challenge has been for you so far. I really want this to be an interactive session. If you want to come on stage as well to join me to talk for a few minutes, that's also perfectly fine. Don't want it to just be my face. I'll just be showing here. So if you're down for that, you can let me know as well. I'll just drop the link for you. And you can come on stage. Yeah. Okay. So Um, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Yeah. So generally, this first module is just all about describing the business value of the Microsoft Power Platform, and I've just explained what it is generally. Nobody has really asked any questions. I think it's also pretty straightforward thing. Yeah. But if you have any questions, as always, you can drop in the chat or you can drop on the group or on the WhatsApp group that we have, so we can go through that. Yeah. So I think as really most of what this session is all about. But okay, let's see. I know we might not have so many people watching right now, but I know a lot of people are still going to like watch this later on. So just a bit of knowledge check for in case of people that haven't completed the module yet, right? So yeah. So let's just take a few seconds to just look at this question here. Number one, which of the following Power Platform components would you use when you create a customer facing website with sales support options? So this question is just testing your knowledge of the Microsoft Power Platform, right? We said there are five tools in the Microsoft Power Platform. That we have Power Apps, which is for building applications. You have Power BI, which is for data analysis. You have Power Automate, which is for building automations, right? So you have Power Virtual Agents, or rather, it's been renamed Microsoft Copilot Studio, which is for building chatbots, and it's been extended. It can really do a lot more. So, perhaps if I can also explore that some other time. And then we have Power Pages, right? So this question is testing your knowledge of what these tools are used for. So it's asking you that which of these five tools in the Power Platform would you use if you wanted to create a website? Yeah. Is there anybody in the comment section that has already dropped the answer? If you already know the answer, you can just you can just drop it. I'm not sure if my screen is still sharing correctly. If it's not, okay, let me try to stop sharing my screen. Do it again. I'm not sure if it was moving with me as I was changing. Let's see. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's try this again. Yeah. So I'm not sure if my screen was sharing correctly. So I'll just go over it again. Like this first question is just trying to test your knowledge of the various tools in the Microsoft Power Platform, whether you know what these tools are used for. Right. So this number one, you can just take a few seconds. That's what tool in Power Platform would you use to create an external facing website? Yeah. I'm sure some of us have already gotten it. Or put that watch this later, you can let me give you a 5 second bit and you can drop the answer in the comment section. Because we always love to hear from you. So five, four, three, two, one. So yeah, it's Power Pages. Power Pages is the micro Power Platform tool that you can use for building websites, right? Power Apps is for building applications, and Power Automate is for building automations, for building flows, right? Okay, so the next question is: your team is frustrated with the number of times they have to perform the data entry. Many because the information, which program will be of the most help in this situation. Okay, so this is it's still the same thing. They're just trying to test your knowledge. That do you know which tools will best fit in to different situations that might occur, right? Which tools will be needed when. Okay, so in this situation, we're asking you need a tool that's going to enable you perform basic data entry, because the whole idea of trying to digitize data entries that when you have to write something out manually, that they might result in mistakes, and perhaps the paper can get lost and stuff like that, right? So which tool would be of use out of these three that have been that you have here as options? Okay, so let me just leave a 5 second bit as well. Wow, tell you the answer. So if you've gone through the modules, this is pretty elementary stuff that you'll be able to understand. So yeah, the answer is Power Apps here, because with Power Apps you can create applications, and this is a very simple use case that's data entry. Perhaps I think a very common use case that people usually have is maybe you go somewhere. Okay, this is something that I've done before. You can check on my channel. I have a video on how to create an event registration app. Yeah, so perhaps you go for an event and they give you pen and paper and they ask you to, write your name, write your contact information and stuff like that. That's just basic data entry. So instead of using that paper, which can, get lost and there can be mistakes in the process, you can just use a Power Up, right? Power Automate, like we said, is for building automation, so it's not really coming to play for the situation. A Power BI is for analysis. So that's that. So yeah, have answers Power Apps. So the third question we have: a client likes the idea of implementing a Power Platform solution, concerned about the ability to interact with the custom API. How should you respond? So let me see. Yeah, what do you think? As always, I'll just give you a little bit to think about this. Mhm. So this is just testing, you um, the one of the strengths of the Power Platform, right, is that it's not like an insular solution. It's not something that is just within the Microsoft, ecosystem. Yeah, enables you to connect to outside sources, right? You can connect to hundreds of data sources, maybe even more than that, right? They're always adding new connectors. Yeah, so it enables you to connect to different services through what they call connectors, right? So, here your customer is interested in using the platform, but is concerned that will you be able to interact with a custom, API. So how should you respond? You should respond saying that okay, that the Power Platform is really dynamic and yeah, hundreds of connectors that you can always use, and that would not be an issue at all, right? So let's see what option would be the most suitable. So Power Platform Faz, yeah, this is probably best. Hmm, this can be a little bit of a tricky question, I guess, but Power Platform has over 900 connectors using these situations, but they're saying it's a custom API, so perhaps it's a very unique um API that might not really be, because obviously they would, when they're creating connectors, they want to create connectors that people use a lot, right? So you have your SharePoint connector, your Excel connector, and Google Sheets and things like that. You have all of those connectors because those are ones that are very popular use cases. But it's saying it's a custom API. So although Power Platform has 100 connectors, you also still have the ability to create custom connectors. Yeah. So what is Copilot Studio? Like I said, Power Virtual Agents is now Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio, I mean, this is pretty intuitive, right? It's for building copilots. Yeah. So let's check our answers. Okay. Ooh, we missed one. We missed one. That's surprising. So Power Automate can create. Mm, okay. Okay. I see their points here. I see their points here. Uh, they're saying, yeah, I was looking at it from the idea that Power Apps is what you use to do data entry, and that's what you've said that you can use an app to send to assist with data entry, but using Power Automate to get it to the correct places. Oh, okay, this part of the question they mentioned that there are many divisions within the information, right? So you need to design a flow to send it to all of these various divisions, right? So yeah, I think that concludes the first module. So you can see all of those questions were just testing your knowledge of how you are able to describe the business value of the Microsoft Power Platform. They gave us a bunch of scenarios, a bunch of business scenarios of how the Power Platform can help a business, right? And if you had gone through this module, then you'll be able to answer these questions. Yeah. So like there was a question about connectors. So yeah, this would be the particular module that would have helped you understand that, describing the business value, using artificial intelligence. So, extending beyond just the Power Platform itself, connecting to Azure as, Microsoft's cloud service. So these are the various things that we can do. So I think we've been able to go through the initial module, the first module. So I think that's enough said that. I should return to the return to this stage, return to the initial, return to the challenge to go through the second one. Okay. All right, so we've gone through the first. So now let's identify foundational concepts, which is the second module. Okay, all right. So this module is going to let us know about Power Platform administration, security and governance, database, which is the recommended, sort of, they'll tell you that it's more than a database, but for now you can just think of it as a database, right? As of where to store your information in the Power Platform, right? Is really what has been built to work with the Power Platform, so it's worked best. But of course, you can still use a variety of um other solutions for your storage, and you can still use your Excel even, but not recommended. Excel is not a database, right? But so yeah, this module just introduces us to Power Platform administration, security and governance, introduces us to database, connectors. You see connectors. You're seeing it comes up a lot, right? Have an exercise here, so it's also hands-on. That's a very good thing about Microsoft Learn. It's not just that you're just saying, you're just reading. You also have a lot of exercises in here that enable you to ensure that you actually understand what you've been reading, what videos you've been watching, and all of that. So yeah, I think what's best is for us to just go through the questions, yeah, and we'll see if we understand the module. Yeah, so knowledge check as well. It's called knowledge check, right? So, someone adds an item in SharePoint which prompts a flow to run Power Automate. What type of operation was used to start your flow? Okay, this is testing your knowledge of Power Automate to see whether you understand Power Automate. So, you know, say what Power Automate is used for building automations, yeah, and the way Power Automate works. Something, is Power Automate was formerly called Flow, or formerly called Microsoft Flow. So in Power Automate, you build flows, you build automations that, so perhaps you want to, you say every time a new tweet with the hashtag AFCON 2024 is created on Twitter, then you should have a, then that tweet should be extracted and it should be stored in your database. Right? Perhaps you want to perform some kind of sentiment analysis, or need to see how people were feeling about AFCON while it was going on. Yeah, so I've done something like that in the past, but I think that Twitter API is not really working anymore. But obviously, there are always ways that you can probably find around that. So anyway, back to that. So in Power Automate, you have this concept of triggers, right? That something must, before an automation occurs, something must trigger it, right? That a gun doesn't just shoot itself; it must, you have to pull the trigger. So that's just the whole idea in Power Automate, that you have a trigger, and then you now have an action. So something must, someone adds an item in SharePoint. This is a trigger, right? Which now prompts an action, which now prompts a flow to run Power Automate. So what type of operation was used to start your flow? That should be a trigger. That should be a trigger, right? Um, the client likes the idea of implementing the Power solution, but is concerned about the ability to interact with the customer API. Okay, this is the same question from the last one that we had. So you can create custom connectors. Someone asks you to describe the connector. Okay, so I think this is a very ultimate focused module. Someone asks you to describe the connector. This is exactly as it sounds, very intuitive, right? You have a connector, it's enabling you to connect to something. Yeah, so connectors connect your data source, your app. Hmm, I like OBJs, but I like multiple choice. I like multiple choice questions as well. Sometimes things can be a little bit tricky, I guess. Um, to build workflows out. It's so are we going for B or C? uh, okay, let's check our answers. Yeah, nah, that was much. Is B. Okay, yeah. So this, you can see, is my a little bit tricky. Yeah. So yeah, this is a trigger. This, we've answered this number two before, and it's number three. Connectors really enable you to connect your data source to your app. So we explained that a little bit. Um, this one that I picked is more of, is going beyond just what connectors does yet. As you can see, is a more encompassing definition. Yeah, that is more of about what Power Automate in general does. Okay, so we've got through this one. gone through this module as well. Um, Describing how to build applications with Microsoft Power Apps. That's what this module is all about. So this module will just, you can see learning objectives that at the end of the module. It's important that you should just, as you start a module, this is how they design it for you, right? They already set a learning objectives for you. This is what you should be able to accomplish. That at the end of this module, you've learned this and that and this and that. All right. So in this module, they want you to be able to understand what Power Apps is. And in Power Apps, you have two different types of applications. You can have your Canvas app or you can have your model-driven app. A Canvas app is exactly what it sounds like. You have a blank canvas and then you can build whatever you want. You know, it's like a painting, right? You want to make a painting and you have a blank piece of paper so you can draw whatever you want. But meanwhile, in a model-driven app, you rather start from data. You start from the data, and then when you just pick the things that you want, then you are able to just the system sort of generates an app for you, right? So Canvas app might have a little bit more flexibility to enable you to really get into doing a lot of the design and things like that. But there's always a little bit of things are not always black and white, right? It's not yeah the way things work. You can probably have a little bit of both worlds, right? You even have things like now you can have um instead of we said the canvas app like okay you start with a blank canvas, right? But you can like start with data. You have this pop what's it called again? You have this copilot features, right? So that perhaps you can just point power at an Excel sheet and create an app for you. Yeah, you create an app for you automatically, but it's still be a canvas app. Yeah, so you can see that it's sort of getting the best of both worlds that way. uh so yeah, here you so they explain all of these things to you. They put you through some exercise. Like I said, so it's really important that you do this exercise and then you have your knowledge check. Yep. So Microsoft Learn is always a really great resource to use because it's direct from Microsoft. It teaches you everything you need to know. It gives you exercises to make sure that you're really also building along. So for this module, you want to build a mobile app that allows you complete control over the UX and the design. What type of power app should you build? Right. So what type of power app do you think we should build? It, it going to allow us complete control. Yeah. So when we said a canvas, it's a blank canvas, it really allows that's what will really be able to enable you to have this complete control that you want. Yeah. So that's a canvas app. Um Here we said our sales team is in desperate need of a mobile app and display records multiple pieces of information about each record needs to be visible. Which are the following Power Apps tools would you use to design attributes functionality? So we want to be able to display rows, we want to be able to display some data. So would you use a form to display that? Would you use an input control to display that? No, I think we should use a gallery, right? So how can data sources be used with Power Apps, Canvas apps? Power Apps can so yeah, what do you think the answer is here? Let's give it a few seconds to think about it. Um, So yeah, perhaps can use both internal and external data sources in the same app. So yeah, we can see we got this one's correct. Yeah. Okay, so I think we've gone through three modules. I think maybe we should just stop here for today. This live session. So yeah, if you are interested in having more live sessions that where we'll just go through all of this, you can let me know and can keep continuing. So perhaps next week we'll go through more Power Automate, next modules on Power Automate, next one's on Power BI, then complementary Power Platform solutions, which could be perhaps like AI builder, bringing some AI solutions like there's this document scanning solution that is pretty simple to do, where maybe you have some you have some handwritten notes, yeah. So you take pictures of them and you upload them, and is able to uh, convert that into text for you, right? It's always better when you have a bit of a demo. So that's when you really understand what I'm trying to say. I think explain it well. So after these other sessions, then it now goes into bits of looking at how we can extend the Power Platform beyond with code. How can I extend Power Platform in traditional development? That's a little bit of the session. So someone asked me about that. So yeah, maybe we can do that. I'll see if I can even get someone to come take us on that session as well. It's always better when we have more people. So maybe I'll do that on a future session. So yeah, I think we've come to the end of today's live. Right, stop sharing my screen. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, see, Rebecca's been with us all through. Hi, Rebecca. Uh, yeah, because you go over the questions, Power Pages, Power Ultimates. The Power Challenge has been great so far. Just 3 emojis left. Um, really happy to hear that, Rebecca. Um, yeah, so thanks so much for being with me for this short while. Do you have any other questions you want me to answer before we conclude for today? If you have any questions, you can just quickly let me know. Yep, not the questions, not the questions. So yeah, you can just this has just been a little bit of learn live session. I tend to like these live study sessions where we just go through a few things. Perhaps we can in the future we can perhaps build out a few things as well. I like doing this session. So if you also are interested in them, you can let me know and we can make it perhaps a regular Saturday thing for an hour or so, or maybe more. So we just go through that. So yeah, thanks for joining and see you next Saturday. So keep powering up.